Welcome back, guys. Here's James WG101 on Diablo 3.
Diablo 3 is the successor to the much-loved and quite amazingly still-played dungeon crawler Diablo 2. There was so much hype for the release of the game, but sadly, Blizzard did not deliver. The hype didn't help, but a lot of things were wrong with the game on release, such as the loot system, which is obviously a big aspect considering the game's genre, the difficulty, and it wasn't realised at the time, but Blizzard noticed a gameplay aspect that was not in their vision for Diablo 3. These were not the only problems met with the launch. Blizzard was not prepared. Servers were crashing, lag was in full effect, and error 42s were everywhere. For the first week, the game was almost unplayable. It was a long ironing out process. The plotline behind Diablo 3 was met with disapproval, especially by the longtime fans of the series. Fans were expecting a dark, gritty experience with dramatic storytelling. Instead, they were greeted with a cheesy plot, characters that were unrelatable, and quite often killed off at some sort of an attempt to achieve what fans wanted. New fans to the franchise are left seriously confused when nothing is being elaborated and knowledge being assumed from past games. As of now, there isn't much left that is similar to the original game. From my experience, however, this is very positive. The game is fast-paced, extremely rewarding for skilled and thought-out play, and entices the player to keep slashing down monsters with awesome loot drops and satisfying gameplay. Originally, some people found the game too hard to even progress with. They got to certain parts of the game and found that they were not a high enough level to be able to defeat the monsters. Therefore, they had to reset the story they were currently doing and do it all again to reach the level that was required to defeat the monsters. By the time you got approximately halfway through the game, you wouldn't have received enough loot to be able to cope with the silly difficulty, thus seriously ruining the pace of the game. Now, Blizzard has implemented a new system named Loot 2.0, unimaginably. The problem with the old loot system was that drops were few and far between, and almost always irrelevant to the class you were playing. Now with Loot 2.0, drops are consistent with your class, and the stat bonuses that the item gives have a much smaller window that they can fall within. For example, a piece of gear could drop with 200 dexterity. Its gap that the stat would fall between is 180 to 220. This is improving the chance of getting quite a nice item with relevant and high stats. The items can also drop with something called a prefix attached to them. A prefix changes the gameplay in certain ways. For example, one could improve your lightning damage or reduce all arcane type damage. Gear is split up into the traditional arrays of colours describing the rarity of the armour. In order of worst to best, there is white, which is common, blue, which is magical, yellow, which is rare, and orange, which is legendary, then finally green. This is where Blizzard does stray from the tradition, however. Players of World of Warcraft or other type of MMOs will usually find that green named armour is the lower tier armour. In Diablo 3, the green set describes armour that is part of a set, and once pieces of this set is collected, will give even larger stat bonuses. Green ain't no lower tier in Diablo 3. The difficulty of the game was addressed with two solutions. The first was to scale the monster's level to the player's level. This sounds bad at first, as I've always enjoyed the challenge in an RPG where you would have to stay around in an area just a bit longer to make the rest of the game a bit easier. However, this does not work in a dungeon crawler. The way it is implemented in Diablo 3 works extremely well, keeping the game fast-paced and the loot dropping left, right and centre. You no longer have to constantly reset the game to kill monsters to improve your level, just so you can continue on with the story. The game has 5 difficulty settings: Normal, Hard, Expert, Master and Torment. Increasing the difficulty improves the amount of gold and experience points gained from playing the game. Once you hit Torment, however, there is a slider that starts from 1 to 6. At Torment difficulty level, the chances of legendary items dropping is increased. At Torment 6, the experience and gold gained is 1600%. However, the game is very challenging at this point. Now the player has the ability to choose what experience they would like and what difficulty comes with it. Grinding is now no longer a requirement in this dungeon crawler. You may have wondered what the point of all that bonus experience was when you hit max level. Once you hit that max level, you start gaining experience towards something called Paragon. Paragon is essentially further leveling that just gives you bonuses towards your stats and other enjoyable bonuses. Gold, however, at this patch is almost useless. The omission of the auction house means that gold is only used for crafting items. There is, however, a new currency being brought into the game that should spice things up a bit, but there isn't much information out currently. I mentioned at the start of this review that Blizzard had changed the gameplay quite substantially. The traditional dungeon crawler would have you quite literally spamming potions to stay alive. However, Blizzard has imposed a cooldown to the use of the potion and has instead focused the gameplay on playing intelligently. There is no longer a go to the internet and copy down build way to build a character in Diablo 3. You build the character around the gear you have looted and their prefixes, then exploiting the abilities you have chosen. For example, you could build your monk to stun enemies around you and keep them stunned while you slowly take them down. You could focus on improving your overall toughness. Toughness is a broad term used to describe how much health or armor your character has. You might set up your monk to pull all the surrounding monsters towards you and bring their health down as fast as possible. The possibilities are quite near endless. Originally, there was a plethora of stats to monitor in Diablo 3. Now Blizzard has implemented 3 all-encompassing stats to aid in the simplicity of building the character you desire. The 3 stats are toughness, damage and healing. Much, much simpler. However, this can be an issue once you get a bit further into gearing up your character, inducing misleading stat bonuses. I'm not one to bloat the cash cow of Blizzard, but they really hit the nail on the head after this one, and will even entice me to spend money on the expansion. The removal of the auction house, the improved difficulty implementation, intelligent gameplay, and the great looting system, we're in the domain of the game that Diablo 3 was supposed to be on release. Well done, Blizzard.
That is great.
That is fantastic.
Take pictures.
Well, you know there are people in China who can like predict the future based on the lines in the sphincter? Yeah.
This one says you have an
Are you an innie or an outie? Your face is so versatile.
Are you jealous of his versatility?
Oh yeah, John, I got this for you the other day. Oh yeah.
Oh wow. That's brutal.
You excited for the line simulator? Yeah. Excellent.
Mortgage bankrupt. Take it. Take the mortgage.
Give it to me.
Double mortgage.
Take my mortgage hair.
Oh wait, no. No.
It's curly and stuff.
Ah, pubes. Can't live with them. Can't live without them.
Speak for yourself, mate.
Oh, gross.